Literally. Okay. Hello, everyone. Today I'll be talking about a huge problem going on in Brazil. I'll be discussing the Amazon rainforest and the tribes that live there. They're all at extreme risk of extinction. I'll be discussing who makes up these tribes, factors influencing their risk of extinction, and what researchers suggest can be done to help with this issue. Firstly, the Amazon rainforest is in Brazil and has the largest number of native tribes living in it. Lucia Newman, writer for Al Jazeera, traveled to the Amazon basin harbor, and she made a video about everything she learned while being there. She made the video in September of this year, and according to her video, she learned about 6 tribes who had contact with the outside world and dozens who didn't at all. These tribes who have no contact with the outside world are known as isolated tribes. Mark Plotkin creates videos for a website called TED Global. Plotkin published a video titled What the People of the Amazon Know That You Don't in October 2014. He states that the greatest and most endangered species in the Amazon rainforest is not the jaguar or the harpy eagle, but it's the isolated tribes living there. I believe that this is something very important to think about and many people fail to realize. The rainforest holds amazing things like plants, animals, but most importantly, the human beings. Mark discusses how he met with a shaman many years ago who healed his ankle with medicinal plants. These tribes are so important to know and know so much about things we simply don't. Mark stated that the rainforest is disappearing, but the people of the rainforest are disappearing even quicker. These tribes are so important to Brazil and even the world. Now I'll discuss the causes of extinction. Lucia Newman had a few discussions with individuals from the Majura tribe. Tribe members said that they felt as though they were endangered to the government. They stated that the lawmakers were trying to make it to where the rainforest was no longer protected from the outsiders. Lucia said the lawmakers are trying to get rid of the agriculture restrictions that currently protect the rainforest where the tribes live. Lucia discussed a group of individuals who were put into place to protect these tribes and the rainforest. This group is called the FUNAI. These groups are part of the Brazilian Indian Affairs Agency, and they had a post at the Amazon basin harbor, but it had been abandoned for months when she got there. Many of the FUNAI posts were closed due to government restricting their funding. This has caused many issues, such as news stories that were released in September stating that 10 individuals from an isolated tribe were reportedly slaughtered by gold miners. This could have been caused due to the FUNAI no longer having a post to protect these isolated tribes. Another huge risk to these tribes is deforestation of the Amazon. Deforestation is a serious issue that continually happens. A lot of individuals going into the forest and tearing down trees for their crops. As of right now, this is illegal, but it's hard to monitor everyone. Researchers tracked the change in the forest in 8 study sites. This article was titled, Are Isolated Indigenous Populations Headed Towards Extinction, and was written by Robert Walker, Dylan Kessler, and Kim Hill. In this article, they created a chart showing the change in the forest, among other things. They tracked these using high-resolution imagery, considering their areas where tribes live. They separated it by different regions in Brazil, and they started in 2001, 2002, and 2004. They eventually stopped monitoring in 2014. There were changes in the forest in each region, and they listed each region. They were listed as vulnerable and crucial, meaning that they needed extreme help. Researchers conducted a study on these tribes in an article titled Amazonian Societies on the Brink of Extinction. This article was published in 2014 and was written by Robert Walker and Marcus Hamilton. In this article, they state that there are not a lot of options to use for studying these individuals due to the little contact with outside world. In the study, they found a small population of about 40 people living in the village. This study was used to judge whether these populations would be able to survive the risk of disease and deforestation. The study found that the village and others are at very high risk of extinction due to having such a small population. This is another serious issue when it comes to the individuals living in the rainforest, because they've not built up any immunity to things like we have, or have any defense against diseases. Now that we have discussed these key points, I will discuss researchers' suggestions for eliminating some of the risks. The article that Robert Walker and Marcus Hamilton wrote also discusses ways that they believe could help these tribes. They suggest that setting up a remote surveillance program and tracking the movements and demographic health of these tribes could really help. I think this could be a great idea due to they believe that this could be helping with the long-term survival for these tribes. I think that this is difficult in finding ways to help them due to not being able to communicate with them very well. I do believe that that some tribes would be willing to talk, such as the tribes Lucia Newman spoke to in her interview. Dylan Kessler and Robert Walker published an article titled Geographic Distribution of Isolated Indigenous Societies in Amazonian and Efficiency of Indigenous Territories. They also recommended that additional investment of research and protection of isolated tribes in the basin could be very beneficial. They suggest using a remote to monitor these individuals to hopefully find ways to protect them. Now that I have shared some information about the Amazon Basin tribes with you all, I hope you can see how big of an issue this is for not only them but the entire world. Thank you.